In the global competition in the field of electric vehicles, China's rapid rise has caused tension in many countries. Among them, the Inflation Reduction Act was added in an attempt to weaken China's influence in this industry. However, China did not choose to confront the United States head-on, but took a more flexible path. Since the United States implemented restrictions, Chinese companies have adopted a more clever approach to development. They have reached a cooperation with South Korea and will invest $4 billion to establish a series of battery production plants. In this way, Chinese companies can use South Korea as a springboard to continue to expand their influence in the electric vehicle industry while also neatly avoiding U.S. sanctions. But it is worth mentioning that in the past, South Korea has followed the United States in suppressing China's development. Why is it now willing to cooperate with China? What interests are hidden behind this? In just a few years, Chinese electric vehicles are expanding into the global market at an unprecedented rate. In 2023, China's new energy vehicle exports will reach a staggering 9.5 million vehicles. Global new energy vehicle sales in 2023 will be 14.28 million units, which means that for every 10 electric vehicles sold in the world, 4 of them will be made in China. Among many overseas markets, the United States' acceptance of Chinese electric vehicles is increasing year by year, from 5% in 2020 to 10% in 2023. But the largest overseas market for China's electric vehicles is undoubtedly Europe. In 2023, the European market will account for 35% of China's electric vehicle exports, becoming the largest destination for China's electric vehicle exports. Just as China's electric vehicles are making a splash in the global market, Western countries are feeling unprecedented competitive pressure. They realized that while they were exploring electric vehicle technology and development paths, China's electric vehicle market had grown rapidly and began to erode their market share. Although the competition is essentially fair, some countries are uneasy. They do not want to see China's electric vehicles making great achievements on the global stage, so they have begun to use various strategies to try to curb the progress of China's electric vehicles. In 2023, in order to prevent Chinese electric vehicles from flooding into the European market at unfair price advantages and impacting the local electric vehicle industry, the EU launched a countervailing measure against Chinese electric vehicles. Among them, Germany has increased import tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles, France has set stricter technical standards and certification requirements, and the United Kingdom has implemented trade protection measures. These measures have significantly increased the sales cost of Chinese electric vehicles in the EU market, weakened their price competitiveness, and effectively limited their sales volume and market share in the EU. In addition to European countries, the United States also passed new legislation known as the Inflation Cutting Act. A key element of this bill is that only electric vehicles produced or assembled in the United States will be eligible for tax incentives. The introduction of this policy not only weakened the market share of Chinese electric vehicles in the United States, but also had a major impact on the global expansion strategies of Chinese companies. For example, China's BYD electric vehicle brand once gained high recognition and market share in the US market. However, due to the inability to obtain tax incentives, its products were at a disadvantage in price competition, causing its sales to plummet 42% year-on-year in just 2 months. So, facing these challenges in the international market, how will China adjust its strategy to deal with external pressure? From China's perspective, in order to adapt to the requirements of the Inflation Reduction Bill, it is particularly important to diversify the supply chain. In the key links of automobile manufacturing, the battery plays a vital role. It is the heart of electric vehicles and directly affects the vehicle's endurance, performance, and market competitiveness. In order to ensure the stability of battery supply and controllability of costs, China needs to actively seek global partners. In Asia, South Korea is an ideal partner because of its leadership in battery manufacturing. Next, we'll explore why South Korea is the best choice for this collaboration. So far, the number of new battery factories that Chinese companies plan to build in South Korea has reached 5. They are CATL, BYD, Guoxian High-Tech, Hive Energy, and Huayu Cobalt. The total investment in these 5 companies is as high as $4 billion, of which CATL invested $1 billion, becoming the largest single investment company. BYD and Guoxian High-Tech each invested $800 million, and Fengchao Energy and Huayu Cobalt invested $700 million each. Among these investment projects, Huayu Cobalt chose a joint venture with LG Chem and POSCO Myri M to build a battery factory in South Korea. BYD is cooperating with KG Mobility to build the factory. CATL is building a ternary lithium battery precursor battery factory with an annual output of 80,000 tons in Jeonbuk, South Korea. The reason why Chinese companies choose to build battery factories in South Korea is very simple. As one of the countries that has signed a free trade agreement with the United States, South Korea can provide Chinese companies with a convenient channel to enter the U.S. market. At the same time, South Korea has a profound heritage and advanced technology in the field of battery manufacturing. Through cooperation with Korean companies, Chinese companies can not only obtain a more stable supply chain guarantee, but also jointly develop new technologies and open up new markets. But it is worth mentioning that South Korea has followed the United States in adopting multiple sanctions against China. So why is South Korea now ignoring the United States and choosing to cooperate with China? We all know that China has very rich resources of rare metals such as gallium and germanium. However, in 2023, China restricted the export control of gallium and germanium. This move caused the development of South Korea's battery industry to slow down for 6 months. The main reason is that South Korea is relatively insufficient in rare metal reserves and highly dependent on external supplies. Today, by establishing a close cooperative relationship with China, South Korea is able to steadily obtain the rare metal materials it needs, thereby ensuring the continued development of its high-tech industries and manufacturing. In addition, the operation of China's 5 battery factories in South Korea not only provides high-quality battery products to the Korean market, but also creates thousands of job opportunities and effectively increases the local employment rate. On the other hand, among the 5 companies, a Chinese company has reached an agreement with a Korean company to build a nickel smelting plant in South Korea. This move aims to reduce South Korea's dependence on external resources and build a more stable supply chain system for it. At the same time, this cooperation will help make up for the technical shortcomings of Korean companies and promote the development of the Korean battery industry. It is understood that China's electric vehicle sales and market share have now surpassed Japan, are ahead of the European Union, and are far ahead of the United States globally. A trend indicates that the global automotive industry may face a fundamental change. Considering China's leading advantages in the entire automobile industry chain and battery technology, it is difficult for Western countries to continue to suppress Chinese electric vehicles.